I always thought love would come softly. A smile across the room, a gentle conversation, maybe even a friend of a friend introduction. But love didn't approach me calmly. It didn't stroll into my life with manners and patience. No, it crashed into my Tuesday morning, holding an iced coffee, a guilty smile, and an apology that changed everything. If I have known that my life was about to shift, that a single moment was about to redirect my entire heart, maybe I would have dressed better, or eaten breakfast, or acted like a normal human being. But fate didn't wait. It picked a random Tuesday, a chaotic morning, a sleepy girl with mismatched socks, and said, "Yes, today." And that was how I met Daniel. Hey dreamers, welcome back to Blessing Storyverse, where we don't just tell stories, we live them. Today's tale is full of mystery love twists, so grab your popcorn and let's dive into another chapter.
The door that opened everything. Tuesday mornings and I had never been friends. My alarm betrayed me again. My hair refused to behave. And I was running down the street like a background character, trying to catch a bus in a Nollywood film. Files in one hand, phone in the other, heart beating like it was training for a marathon. "Amara, you're late." My boss texted. I didn't even bother replying. I was too busy strategizing how to cross the road without getting hit or dying of embarrassment. The small cafe on the Corner Brew, was just ahead. I never went inside. Too expensive, too cozy, too many couples smiling like they swallowed happiness. But today I was passing in front of it. And that was my mistake. Because the cafe door didn't just open. It flew. Hard, fast, straight into my hand. My files exploded into the air like they were auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I heard the voice before I saw the face. Warm, soft, sincerely panicked. Then I looked up and paused. The man holding the door was beautiful in that annoyingly unaware way. Messy hair that looked intentional. Brown eyes that felt like warm tea on a cold day. A jawline sharp enough to slice my responsibilities in half. And that scent, cinnamon, vanilla, and something calm. He crouched instantly to gather my papers. "I didn't see you," he said, eyes big with guilt. "It's okay," I said, crouching too. Then we both reached for the same paper, and our foreheads collided. We froze, and then started laughing, a soft, awkward, breathless kind of laugh that made my cheeks warm. "I'm Daniel," he said, handing me the last page. "Amara, can I make it up to you?" He rubbed his neck. "Maybe buy you a coffee?" I blinked. I had a meeting in 15 minutes. A boss who already didn't like me. A to-do list longer than my patience. But something about him, his eyes, his voice, his nervous smile, made me say a very irresponsible. "Sure." He held the cafe door open for me. Gently this time. Inside, Corner Brew felt like stepping into a warm hug. Soft lighting, indie music, the smell of pastries whispering sweet lies to my diet. We sat by the window. He ordered a cinnamon latte. I ordered water because broke. "So, what do you do?" he asked. I told him about my job, my demanding boss, my chaotic work life. He listened like I wasn't just talking, like I was worth hearing. Then he told me about his love for photography, how he liked capturing quiet moments, how he believed beauty was everywhere if you slowed down long enough to notice it. "You don't strike me as someone who ever slows down," he said with a little smile. "I don't," I admitted. Maybe today's a good start. 1 hour passed. Then 2. Then my phone buzzed aggressively with missed calls from my office. I jumped. "Oh God, I'm supposed to..." "I know," he said softly. You should go. I stood adjusting my bag. He stood too. And then he said something that lodged itself in my heart with no intention of leaving. The Tuesday promise. For the rest of that week, my brain refused to mind its business. Every little thing reminded me of Daniel. Cinnamon? Daniel. Coffee shop doors? Daniel. Random smiles from strangers? Definitely Daniel. By the time the next Tuesday arrived, I pretended I wasn't waiting. I lied to myself confidently. I'm not going there. He probably forgot. It was just one coffee. But my legs? They had their own agenda. Before I knew it, I was standing outside Corner Brew again, trying to act like I just happened to pass by. Then the cafe door opened, and there he was. That same warm smile, same messy hair, same soft eyes that felt like a hug. You came, he said, stepping closer. I didn't come, I lied boldly. I was just walking. He laughed. Right. And your office is totally in this direction. I rolled my eyes, but my heart did a small somersault. Come in, he said. I saved us the window seat. US. Why did that word feel like a whole love letter? We sat. He ordered his cinnamon latte. He ordered me something too. A caramel drink I didn't ask for. Try it, he said. I did. It tasted like liquid happiness. And right there, between small talk and shy smiles, he asked, Can we make this a Tuesday thing? I froze. Like, every Tuesday? He nodded. Soft, gentle. Sure, I like talking to you, he said quietly. And I want to know more. Only if you want to. No pressure. No rushing. Just a boy inviting me into his world, one Tuesday at a time. I felt my chest warm, because it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't forced. It was simply, right. Okay, I whispered. Every Tuesday. His smile deepened, slow and sweet, like the beginning of something. Something I wasn't ready for, but already falling into. The way he looked at me, our Tuesday routine became my favorite part of the week. Not because of the drinks, or the soft cafe music, or even the warm window seat, but because of him. The way he looked at me. Daniel didn't stare like most people. He didn't scan my face or check me out, or look at me like I was something to figure out. No, he looked at me like he was listening with his eyes. Like every expression I made had a meaning. Like every smile from me was something he wanted to keep. That Tuesday, he arrived before me. Again, I walked in and found him already sitting at our spot, tapping his cup lightly, glancing at the door every few seconds. When he saw me, he stopped tapping, and his whole face softened in a way that made my stomach flutter. You're here, he said. I'm always here, I replied, taking my seat. He smiled. I like that. We talked about simple things. My annoying coworker, his new photography project, the weather that couldn't decide what it wanted. Then, in a moment that felt small but wasn't, he reached across the table and brushed a crumb off my cheek. A tiny touch. Barely a second long. But my heart reacted like I'd been kissed. He immediately pulled back. Sorry, that was. It's fine, I cut in, trying to sound calm even though my pulse was running laps. He looked down at his cup, shy this time. It's just, you had something there. I nodded slowly, but I knew the truth. He touched me carefully, softly, like he was afraid of crossing a line he respected too much to break. And that respect, that gentleness, it made my chest warm in a way I didn't expect. As we stood to leave, he held the cafe door open for me. Not like the first day, chaotic and accidental, but intentional, slow, beautifully aware. See you next Tuesday? He asked. I met his eyes. See you next Tuesday, I whispered. And as I walked away, I realized I wasn't just looking forward to our Tuesdays. I was looking forward to him. When Tuesday felt like a date, by the fourth Tuesday, something had definitely changed. Not in a dramatic movie way. Not in a he confessed his love way. Just quietly, softly, naturally. Like a shift you don't notice until you're standing in the middle of it. I entered Corner Brew and instantly spotted him, leaning back in his chair, scrolling his phone, a small smile tugging at his lips like he was already enjoying something I hadn't said yet. When he looked up and saw me, that smile brightened. Not wide, not flashy, just warm. Warm enough to melt the parts of me that stayed guarded for too long. "You look happy today," he said as I sat down. "Do I?" I asked, unbothered but pretending to check my face. He nodded. "Like you were excited to come." I froze for a split second, then tried to play it cool. "I'm excited for the drink," I lied. He laughed. "You're terrible at lying." He wasn't wrong. We talked like we always did. Easy, calm, comfortable. But something felt different. He kept looking at me for a little longer than usual. I kept noticing the way his fingers tapped nervously against his cup. Our knees brushed under the table, lightly, and neither of us moved away. Then, as we were about to leave, he hesitated beside me. "Wait," he said softly. "I got something for you." I blinked. "For me?" He nodded, reaching into his bag. What he pulled out wasn't dramatic or expensive. It was a tiny photo, a candid shot of the cafe from outside, sunlight pouring through the window. "It reminded me of Tuesdays," he said shyly. "Our Tuesdays." I held the photo carefully, like it was something fragile. "You took this?" I asked. "Yeah. And I thought, maybe you'd like it." His voice was gentle, almost unsure. But my heart wasn't unsure at all. "I do," I whispered. He smiled, relieved, soft, beautiful. As we walked out together, I realized something important. It didn't feel like just another Tuesday anymore. It felt like the beginning of something. Something slow. Something real. Something we weren't calling a date, but definitely felt like one. The almost confession. By the fifth Tuesday, my co-workers had started noticing. "Why do you look extra fresh on Tuesdays? New skincare? Or new man?" I denied everything, of course. But they weren't wrong. Every Tuesday, I woke up with a strange excitement buzzing in my chest. Clear skin by force. Nice outfit. Perfume behaving. All because of one boy with soft eyes and cinnamon in his voice. That day, Daniel looked different when I walked in. Not bad different. Just thoughtful. Like something was sitting on his mind. "You okay?" I asked as I slid into my seat. He nodded, but slowly. "Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about something." My heart skipped an entire beat. "Maybe two." "Okay," I said, trying to stay calm. He played with the lid of his cup, eyes lowered. "I know we said Tuesdays are just Tuesdays. Nothing more." "Right," I replied, even though my heart was already disagreeing. "But lately," he continued, "I feel like it's becoming more, at least to me." My breath caught. He finally looked up, and for the first time, his gaze wasn't soft or shy. It was honest. "I look forward to seeing you. More than I should, maybe." And I just wanted to say it. Silence fell between us, not awkward, not heavy. Just full. Full of everything we hadn't said yet. I parted my lips to speak. But before I could say anything, the cafe door swung open, and a loud voice cut through the moment. "Daniel?" A girl. Pretty. Confident. Walking straight toward our table, like she owned the air around her. He stood quickly. "Maya?" She hugged him tightly. Too tightly. As I sat frozen in my seat. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just watched. When she finally pulled away, she looked at me. Then at him. Then back at me. "Oh," she said with a knowing smile. Did I interrupt? Something? Daniel swallowed. Hard. It's not what you think, he said quickly. And even though he wasn't looking at me when he said it, it still stung. Just a little. Just enough. The shift I didn't expect. Maya, that was her name. Her presence changed the air instantly, like someone dimmed the lights inside my chest. She sat down before I could ask who she was, before Daniel could explain, before my heart could settle. I've been trying to reach you, she said to him, not even glancing my way again. Daniel sighed. Maya, you could have called. Or texted. I wanted to see you, she replied. I watched them. Quietly. Awkwardly. Uncomfortably. And something inside me tightened. A small, annoying knot I didn't like. Amara, Daniel said gently, turning to me. This is Maya. She's an old friend. Maya smiled. Very old. Something about the way she said it didn't feel friendly. But I kept my own smile polite. Cool. Normal. Oh, I replied. Nice to meet you. She gave a small nod, then turned her attention back to him. So, can we talk? Alone? She asked. Daniel hesitated. Actually hesitated. And that tiny pause made something twist in my stomach. He looked at me again. I won't be long, I promise. I forced a smile. It's fine. Go ahead. He nodded, then stood and walked away with her toward the corner of the cafe. I didn't stare. I didn't eavesdrop. I didn't let myself wonder who she was to him or why she looked like someone he had once cared about. I just sipped my drink, pretending like my chest wasn't tightening with every passing second. Minutes passed. 10, 15, 20. By the time he returned, my heart had already built a little wall to protect itself. Amara, he said softly, sitting back down. I'm sorry about that. It's okay. I replied too calmly, too politely, too unlike myself. He noticed. Are you upset? He asked. I shook my head. No. Why would I be? She's your friend. Something dimmed in his eyes. A flicker. A worry. Amara, nothing is going on between us. I want you to know that. I didn't ask, I replied lightly. But he heard everything I didn't say. He leaned forward. Voice low and honest. I meant what I said earlier. About this being more to me. My breath caught. But today just got complicated. He reached for my hand slightly, then stopped as if unsure. I don't want this to push you away, he said. I stared at him, at his worried eyes, his gentle voice, his sincerity trying to make its way through the moment. And slowly, the wall in my chest loosened. I'm not going anywhere, I said quietly. Relief washed over his face like sunlight returning after a cloud. Because even with the shift, even with Maya's sudden arrival, I still wanted him, and he still wanted me. Choosing us, the following Tuesday I didn't walk into Corner Brew like I usually did. I practically ran, heart hammering, palms sweaty, mind screaming every possible scenario. Would Maya show up again? Would I even want to see him after last week? I took a deep breath, pushed the door open and froze. Daniel was sitting at our usual table, alone, his cinnamon latte in front of him, but he wasn't drinking it. He looked nervous. When he saw me, his eyes lit up, that same soft, warm look that made me melt every time. Amara, he said, standing quickly. I'm glad you're here. I smiled. I wouldn't miss it. Silence filled the small table at first, but not an awkward silence. It was full of meaning, full of everything that had been unsaid. He reached across and finally took my hand. Warm, gentle, firm. I need to be honest, he said. I've been thinking a lot about us, about Tuesdays, about You! My heart thudded in my chest. I like you, Amara. More than I thought I could in a week. More than I should. His thumb brushed lightly over my knuckles. Every Tuesday, every smile, every little thing. I'm falling for you. I swallowed. My chest tightened with happiness and nerves and disbelief all at once. I like you too, I whispered, barely audible. His smile broke like sunlight through clouds. He leaned closer. Our foreheads touched softly. A quiet, tender moment that felt like it had been building forever. I want us, he said simply. Just us, no complications. No interruptions. Just you and me. I nodded, eyes closing for a second to savor it. Yes, just us. And in that small, cozy cafe, surrounded by the smell of pastries and the soft hum of indie music, we started something quietly beautiful. Something real. Something worth every Tuesday, every smile, every heartbeat that had led to this moment. He kissed my forehead gently. I'm glad love found us on a Tuesday, he whispered. I laughed softly, resting my head on his shoulder. Me too. And just like that, Tuesdays would never be ordinary again. Months later, Tuesday mornings still held the same magic. We'd sit at our corner table, sip our drinks, share soft laughs, and steal small glances no one else noticed. Some habits never faded. The cinnamon latte, the caramel drink, the gentle hand touches. But the best part, every Tuesday reminded us how unexpected love could be. How it didn't have to shout to matter. How it could find you quietly, softly, and still change everything. Daniel still smiled like the first day. I still laughed like I did when our foreheads collided. And every Tuesday we remembered that love, real, gentle, perfect love, sometimes arrives when you least expect it. And mine? It found me. On a Tuesday. And that's another chapter from Blessing's Storyverse. If this story hit you in the feels, leave a like. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because trust me, the next plot twist is even crazier. Until next time, keep living like the main character. Bye.